first challenge that I want to talk about is how do we drive human-centered productivity? And I'm going to emphasize the word human-centered, because productivity is no longer about saying, hey, do more work, use less time, and make me more money as an organization. Productivity is about saying, how do I invest that time back in your development and growth to help you become sharper for the future? Our leaders also see that technology is a potential solution to help us make those cost optimization efforts or productivity initiatives come alive. And almost 50% of our leaders think that work design is a solution that we as HR leaders need to focus on. However, what does work design really mean? So let's maybe dig a little deeper into that. So work design has three different elements. We need to think about not just how we redesign work, but also what will be the capabilities needed to deliver on that new work. And last but not least, when we have redesigned the work, built the capabilities, are we able to deploy our talent in more agile ways? And how do we do that effectively? The second challenge I wanted to share with us is future-proofing capabilities. Although from HR's priorities, HR is focusing on how do I improve people managers' skills, how do I design talent processes around skills, how do I deliver on the EVP to retain top talent. My employees are feeling burnt out. 1 in 3 employees also feel more replaceable. They feel that with technology, their organizations or their leaders don't value them as much. When we are thinking about future-proofing capabilities, what are the 4 questions we need to ask, and how do we take employees along in that journey? When we are thinking about skills, there are 4 questions these organizations are asking. They are asking, what are the skills which we will need not just now but also in the future? What skills do we have now? Do we know? What are those gaps and how will we fulfill them? Last but not least, how do we create a workforce or a workplace culture where people feel that they want to stay? So how do we attract and retain talent with the right culture? What we can see is one of the key initiatives that built environment is looking to drive is to say, how do we create a culture where our people feel recognized, they feel valued, they feel respected. And this comes from having a very collaborative relationship between contractors and our partners. And the second piece of data which we also see in your job transformation map is that changing people, culture and practices is seen as a key driver or a key recommendation to enhance the attractiveness of the sector. From that data, we see that the number 1 reason that people say that they thrive in an organization is when they have purposeful work, which means that their work has meaning. The reason why they remain with an organization, if there are opportunities for career progression and there are opportunities to learn. So how are we helping them develop skills? And fair pay is among my top 2 reasons for employees to stay with an organization. So it is not just about whether my pay is good enough, it is also about whether it's competitive and fair for the work that you are expecting me to do. And culture, having a positive work culture is among the top 3 reasons. As leaders, not just in HR, but as leaders of the business who partner the business to succeed, one of the imperatives that we have is to drive human-centered productivity. So how are we helping our leaders create more impact through the talent that they have? The second imperative for all of us is how do we invest in the skills and capabilities which will be needed not just today, but in the future? And last but not least, how are we getting data around our current culture, the pain points, and actively trying to build that positive work culture for our organizations?